My name is Juanita Abair, and I am an English teacher. When I began this process, I was teaching Freshman English 1 in Pasadena ISD. I am now teaching 8th grade English in Goose Creek CISD and will be starting this year as the English Department Head, an accomplishment I owe at least in part to my work in the Learning, Design, and Technology program. When I began the Dick and Carey instructional design process, I chose sentence structures as my topic for a number of reasons. Knowing and understanding clauses and sentence types is a skill that is universally needed for both reading and writing. Revised drafts to improve sentence structure can be found in the Texas Essential Knowledge and Skills as early as 3rd grade. It is tested in some form on all levels of the English and Reading STAR tests. However, despite the importance of the skill, students often come to their English classes without this knowledge. Even pre-AP, freshmen failed the pre-test I gave them, proving the instruction was necessary. I learned through learner interviews and analysis that my students wanted to learn to improve their writing, but felt that they hadn't been adequately taught in the past. Whether it was a skill that was overlooked by previous teachers because they should have already learned this, or it was taught and forgotten, a new approach to teaching the skill was required. I revised the instructional goal and completed a goal analysis, breaking it down into 6 major steps. I then took the most complex of the 6 steps and broke that step down into each individual part, including the entry skills required. As I developed instructional materials and assessments, I began to incorporate educational technology. I kept in mind that students had probably been taught this information in the past, but did not retain it, so I sought out methods that would help students connect the information in a way that they would be able to remember and utilize in the future, whether on a standardized test or in their own writing. I searched out YouTube videos that presented the information in an engaging manner with examples. I used quizzes to administer some of the assessments. As I began designing the formative evaluation process, I reviewed what I'd learned and chose to make one final technology choice and shifted the entirety of the instruction online, eliminating the need for an instructor to deliver the material. I used the learning management system Schoology, as my school at the time had access to Schoology Enterprise, the premium paid version of the LMS. I had 2 students run through the instruction for me first, one a pre-advanced placement student and one a struggling English language learner, before I then had 2 RTI groups complete the instruction. In addition to the data I collected from those evaluations, I chose to make some minor revisions to increase accessibility for students with disabilities. I attended the Innovative Teaching and Learning Symposium at the University of Houston main campus and learned a lot of new tips and tricks for ensuring that instructional content is accessible to all students. For instance, the information presented within Schoology simply contained images of the original presentation slides. I now know that a blind student using a screen reader would not be able to read the information presented within those images. This is an easy fix, as I can simply remove the images and type the information out onto the slide myself. The end product was a complete 1-hour lesson that could be successfully completed by students entirely independent of each other and the instructor. To make the lesson simple and easy to share, I created 2 screencast videos, one as an overview for an instructor looking to use this lesson. So the student completion option shows that the requirements must be completed in sequential order. So before they can go to the quizzes, they have to view the independent clauses page, and they must do each of these things in order. As they complete each item, then the next one will unlock. So the first one is the independent clause page, and here's notes, information. Now I made sure that I put this information in text and not as an image of the slide from PowerPoint that I originally had, so that students with visual or who might be blind or cannot see very well and use a screen reader can still access the information, because a screen reader can't read the words that are in an image, but they can read the words that are as they are on here. and a second as an instructional video to students to show them how to complete the lesson. So if you click on the notes there and then open it from down here, okay, this is how it will look when it pops up on your screen. You need to click Enable Editing. And then from here you can either print or type your notes. Now if you're going to type your notes, you'll want to delete the lines so that you can then type right there. Okay? So once you've got that and you have your notes, you're ready to go. Go ahead, go back to the main folder. And you're going to start with the independent clause folder. Now, when you view this, your screen's going to look a little bit different than mine does right here. All of these items down here will be dimmed. You won't be able to see them in full color because you must complete this folder in order. So first thing you need to do, it says must view the item. So you'll click on independent clauses. And here's your information that you're going to use to complete those guided notes. So you'll scroll through, fill in your notes, and then at the bottom there is a video to help you further understand the concept. Creating this unit of instruction using Schoology showed me how easily the LMS could be used to improve instruction in the ELAR classroom in all areas, not just grammar. Therefore, I created this presentation meant to give teachers an overview of some of the most accessible ways to use Schoology in an English classroom. There are a million wonderful features of Schoology, and even more when you look at the paid enterprise version, but for the sake of this presentation, I chose these 4 main features: assessments, assignments, discussions, and badges. They are all a part of the free basic version, and they are simple and easy, saving you time and frustration. Let's get started with assessments. The only question more common than students asking, "Is this going to be on the test?" is teachers asking themselves, "Do I really have to grade this?" With Schoology, the answer can often be no, you don't have to grade it. Up to this point, I had started with a very specific skill in mind, constructing the types of sentences, and moved to a broader look at Schoology in the English classroom. For the final component, I decided to take yet another step outward and look at the use of all kinds of technology in the English classroom. I allowed the research to guide me as I wrote my literature review and found that teachers of English have an even higher responsibility to integrate technology into the classroom than other subject teachers, as technology is interwoven with many state standards for English. However, incorporating technology in any classroom is not a simple process. Teachers must be willing to invest their personal time, as integrating technology requires an increase in planning time. I also found that while technology may be pervasive in teenagers' lives, one cannot assume that students are automatically going to buy into technology for the simple fact that it is technology. Considering that intrinsic motivation is better and lasts longer than extrinsic motivation, which is based on rewards and fades when the rewards are no longer present or enticing enough, Jacobs believes that we need to consider how technology can be used to create a culture of participation and learning that will create the intrinsic motivation that makes students want to utilize the technology in the classroom and is necessary for deeper learning. While Overman and Harrison believe that the online learner will suffer from the lack of group interaction and learning with and from peers, many others believe that technology can be used to create a community among students within a class. Students interact more deeply with and put more effort into the assignments when they know they have an audience of their peers, not just their teacher. Finally, a commonality across most of the research is the idea that offering students the opportunity to publish their creations is not only empowering, but ensures that they are engaging with the material authentically in order to create the best possible product to share digitally.